All right. Hello, hello, everyone. Hello. Make sure you guys jump in, start sharing. Oh gosh, I made it. I made it. I made it. I didn't think I was gonna make it, you guys. I woke up this morning, I posted, I say, listen, my nose, nose. But I went ahead and found a quick little remedy for it. So I'm feeling okay right now. And we are here with Miss Tonie, and I'm excited for quite a few reasons. This is my first time actually interacting and having a conversation and discussion with Tonie. But also for you guys that are tuning in and watching, this is actually going to be one of her first times sharing her story with us, with anyone for that matter, on this, definitely on this large of a scale. So um, if you guys go through this with us, you have questions, please feel free to ask questions in the comments. Hey, Freddie. Hey, Angel. Hey, Chandra. Everybody that's popping in and saying hello. Thanks for sharing, you guys. Hello, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay, I'm sorry, Elon. I meant to say X. I do not want Elon coming for me. um, but yeah, so this is going to be exciting. I've never heard her story, you guys. So I am literally about to hear this for the first time with you all. I do know that she's been diagnosed now for 7 years, and the time has come. That's why I titled this interview as Time, because she has come to the realization that it is now time for her to follow what her heart is telling her to do. Her heart is telling her to talk about this and to share, um, and to be a voice. So I commend you. I want to just start by saying that I thank you. You reached out to me and you was like, hey, I saw your post and I want to do this. And that is a huge step for someone. Like I was talking to yesterday to Kat in her interview, and she was someone who came to me. She's been diagnosed way longer than you and I both. She's 27 years diagnosed, and she's like, would tell me, this is what I'm dealing with. I want to do this. And then to finally see her now doing it is amazing. And I know that you as well, I can just tell from your spirit and having just a short little conversation we've had that you're going to do amazing. Um, so I want to welcome you to the Ladybird Live on Facebook. And uh, the floor is going to be yours. However you want to share your story with us, because listen, I'm sitting back, I'm ready to listen and to learn um, with you and everyone else.
All right. Mm,
Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Tony. Uh, yes, I was diagnosed 7 years ago. Um, and I'm tired of hiding, and I am tired of keeping secrets and being quiet about this. Uh, I'm also very, very tired of watching him do this to so many vulnerable, unsuspecting women. Um, so yeah, I'm ready to speak up, make some noise, uh, and educate some people, uh, bring some awareness, um, and hopefully bring some hope to some other people, other women especially that might be on the same similar journey as I have been on. Um, so yeah, um, um, secrets. Yeah, that's what got me into this. Um, I met a man. Um, I had been by myself for a couple years, a single mother, uh, raising kids with also other health issues that had stemmed from birth, um, leading me to have only one kidney now and a
Wow.
bladder disease. Uh, I had been divorced for some years. Um, so I had moved into an apartment building, um, and with my youngest daughter, and I met a man. He was really nice. Um, I knew some mutual friends of his, and was told that he was a good guy. So I gave him a chance. Um, it wasn't even 3 months later, and I found out that he had been keeping secrets and lying.
Wow.
Um, his baby mother had attacked me. Um, she had also told one of my children that I needed to get away from him because he was going to ruin my life like he did hers a year prior to me. Uh, I, I had no idea what that meant. Um, and within a couple weeks, uh, I had got told that I needed to go get tested for HIV.
Mm.
Um, and that he had been lying to me and keeping it a secret. He had not been taking his medicine correctly, and um, that he had also not only infected me, but several other women.
Wow.
Um, I had went to the emergency room. One of my children had taken me there, and they wouldn't test me for HIV. They said they didn't do that test. So I went to prompt care. They didn't do the test either. Uh, so I finally called the health clinic here and got an appointment and did the blood work. It took them a whole week to get my results back. Um, and I went into the clinic, and the doctor told me that I tested positive for HIV. Uh, I already had health issues, so I
Yeah.
was really scared. My immune system's already compromised, so I was already really scared.
Right.
Um, I thought I was gonna die, and then I worried about my kids, like what's gonna happen to them and stuff. And then the doctor had talked to me and explained to me, that I could take my medication with good medication adherence. I can become undetectable, and that um, I don't have to worry about, passing it to anyone as long as I stay on my medication and take care of myself.
Yeah.
So um, after that, um, I actually started to self isolate, and I went through a lot of depression and anxiety and panic attacks. Um, and I was actually scared to trust any man at all, actually. I had already been through abuse in the past growing up, and as I got older, being in toxic relationships and trauma. Um, so I went through a lot of depression and anxiety and panic attacks. I felt a lot of hate, um, even towards myself. And I was very hard on myself. I felt very guilty, and um, I shamed myself a lot. Um, I felt guilty for making the decision to be with a man in a relationship and trust him, like, um, and to have unprotected sex with him, I knew that I shouldn't have been having unprotected sex with him, period. I shouldn't, like, I knew better. But, you're in a relationship. Well, you think you are in a
Right.
relationship, supposed to be in a relationship. So, yeah, I spent a lot of time in self-isolation and loneliness. And then when I started talking to other people, and I did come out and tell them, especially if it was a man that was like interested in me, um, I would tell him right off. I believe in honesty and being upfront about it. Um, to me, because I take my medicine and I'm undetectable and I'm taking care of myself health wise, I am fine. Like I can't
Right.
pass it to anybody. So, and it's just like it's no different than me having the bladder disease either. So, um, I had told a couple men about it, and I was treated like garbage. I was
Mm.
called names like dirty and disgusting,
Wow.
a monster. I've been told that I'm not worthy of love, even the
Mhm.
love that comes from Jesus,
Wow.
and that I should be ashamed of myself for not keeping myself clean.
That's the. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, no, no. It's that's people are so people can be very, very evil. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I had one guy that uh had gave me a hug and had kissed me on my cheek, and when I had told him about it, he was like, "Oh my gosh, do I need to go get tested?" I was like, "Are you serious?" Um, um,
Crazy.
yeah. I've even had people make remarks about, "Oh, well, um, we don't want you cooking in our kitchen or anything because if you cut yourself, you know, we have to worry about us getting HIV." And remarks like that is just makes me want
Right.
to educate. Like people are so uneducated about it, and
They
people have
are.
been quiet for so long about it. Like I never even thought to go get tested for HIV when all this stuff had happened, because I hadn't heard about it since the 80s. I just turned 50 this past August. And I had a friend that I had worked with in the 80s. He had died of AIDS. So I was somewhat educated on AIDS anyway, but I
Right.
hadn't heard about it since then. Um, and then also the fact that HIV and AIDS are also have always been um, mainly the focus has been on the gay men and the LGBT community and all that. Um,
Right.
I it's actually to find heterosexual women um, that have it that have been in somewhat of the same situation. It's hard to find, and there's not a lot of focus on that. And I feel like you know we have so much focus on the other groups with the HIV. Like we need to also focus on us women too as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Um, and we need to like stand up and raise awareness and educate because this is it's horrible. And it may not be a death sentence physically, but emotionally and mentally, yes.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
and he is running around here freely, and it's just disgusting to me
Mm.
to see him with other women. And I wonder in my mind, like, do these women know?
Do they know?
You know,
Yeah.
do they know?
Of course they don't. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
they don't.
So it makes me angry. He's just running around here injecting his venom in, vulnerable women who are
Yeah.
lonely, and it's no, it's disgusting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
So
had
now,
he? Well, I was gonna ask you a quick question. Had
yeah,
he ever told you that he knew? Like, had when you found out, did you ever go back to him and say, "Hey, this is what the doctor is telling me. You know,
yeah,
why didn't you tell me?"
he actually called me the morning that I went to go get tested, and he was like, "I'm so sorry." And he had these alligator tears a going and all that, and I'm like, "I ain't got nothing to say to you," and I hung up the phone. Like, I
Right.
just so, yeah, and unfortunately, after the loss had after right after I was diagnosed, the laws had changed here, and
Oh,
it is no longer a criminal offense because it's not a death sentence, and we can take our medication, and if he would have been using proper medication adherence and taking care of himself, it would
it
have
would
been
have never
completely
happened.
different.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw someone just said, "Could you turn him in and have him arrested?" But that's one of those things when the laws change. Not all states have laws, or the laws
Yeah.
they have don't go, coincide with your situation. It does make it a lot harder to do anything criminally, for sure. Um, some of the things I know you can do, you can let the health department know, hey, this person, I'm pretty sure they're still out here doing X, Y, and Z. They'll investigate, but then also sometimes that can also be a brick wall because they're not gonna push it so far to where they're gonna really investigate like police will. They're just
Yeah.
gonna bring the person, question them, and whatever the person tells them, they're gonna go off of that. If they say no, I do tell people, they're just gonna pass it off and not even pursue it any
Yeah.
further. So yeah, it,
Yeah.
it, it can be a hit and miss situation with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
he's still out here just meeting
Oh,
women.
he's with women. Yeah, I've seen him several times around town. This is not a big town where I'm at. It's not
Right.
exactly like, or it's not a big city or anything. It's not a real small town, but it's not a big city either,
Yeah.
like Chicago or anything, by no means. So yes, I have seen him with other women, and it's it it
So
makes me
yeah.
angry,
And it's
angry to the
like,
point to
man,
where yeah, like, I just and now, like, it has empowered me, um, the anger actually is empowering me now to speak out. Um,
yeah,
I am tired of this crap. Like, I'm tired of it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm tired of watching him do this. I really
right,
am, and it also, it makes me sad and it breaks my heart for other women that are, you know, in self-isolation and, shame and
right,
living under all that and scared to speak up. Um,
yeah. So let me ask you this question. I don't want you to do it here, but have there been moments where you've, like, especially around town, seen these women and tried to reach out to them or say, hey, this is what I know for sure. You need to go get tested, or you need to get yourself checked, or you need to be aware. Like, have you done that on that level? Or is it just a thing of like, man, I see this dude, like, lawfully there's nothing you can do. And it's just like, man, like, it's just eating at you, like,
um, they're every time that I've seen him, it's and the female, they're together. like, and I can't get near him. Uh, he just happened to be at one of my eyeglass appointments one time. Uh, it was the week before my baptism, uh, just this past April, and, I actually had to call my daughter to come to the place because I couldn't. I was just frozen. I just and when we had come out the door, he had done called the police, uh,
What?
and the police sat there the whole time and waited for him and his girl
Wait.
to leave.
So
And
what
I'm
did the
like,
police?
"Why?" Like, I don't understand, and so, yeah, my
So what
daughter
did the
said it's
police say? Like when the police came?
nothing, nothing, they just waited for him to leave, him and her to leave, and then if about 10 minutes later or so, then the police left, and I'm like,
So
"This
he
is
was
just
under the
I
impression that
am."
you were going to approach him or say something to him or
Yeah, yeah, like, "What are you afraid of?" Like, I don't under
right.
okay, like, I mean,
Because
yeah, of
at
course.
that point now, it's like, what is he telling the woman that he's probably with? Because if somebody was with him, he's probably he calling the police, and they probably like, why are you calling the police? He probably saying, oh, she's a crazy this or this. Like he's probably painting a whole picture. Oh
Yeah,
goodness,
yeah, yeah, and actually, I do know that by law, he is protected. I am not allowed to say his name.
right,
Um, so it's kinda like one of those situations where, like, I'm not friends with that female, I don't even know her.
right,
So, it's like, well, I just pray that maybe she finds out. I have found one way to be able to speak out about it, aside from doing stuff like this, and that is, writing a book. And I have been working on that, with one of my counselors.
okay,
Um, so, and I speak upon the HIV, um, and a there's a lot in there on it. But I went to go put a burn letter in there that I wrote to him, uh,
mm-hmm.
as part of my healing process,
Right,
uh, in one of my therapy classes, and, I couldn't use his real name, of course, so I did a lot of research, and I came up with some name that's never even heard of, like, not
yeah,
even on this earth. So, um, and then Um, I made sure with the legal team that it is legal for me to put the burn letter in there, so it is in there. Um,
okay,
and, I'm hoping that one of these days, like, maybe down the road, like, just through word of mouth, like, "Hey, man, I know you were with her and she wrote this book, and I know that she"
exactly, yes,
and
yes.
he actually gets it in his hands and reads it, and he's like, like, for me, that's just yeah, it's yeah. Very,
Yeah,
it feels good to even think that possibly, maybe, he'll come
yeah.
across this book when it once it comes out.
Yeah. And I know somebody in the comments was saying, oh, my speaking up and speaking out will help you and others that are being blindsided. Absolutely. And then someone said, I'm not sure, but you cannot disclose the person's health information. So when it comes to disclosing someone else's health information, like the truly, honestly, the ones that really cannot disclose someone's personal health information are the medical professionals under HIPAA law and Privacy
Mhm,
Act guidelines. However, a civilian like you and I, the ramifications that we can suffer is someone can try to sue us for defamation or for harassment or other different
yeah,
things they can try to legally come at you for. So like she said, she's not going to say his name or put his name out there only because yes, knowing it would help people who could encounter him, but it could cause more harm than good for her in the end. So the way she's doing it honestly is one of the best ways to do it. Um, Especially being the fact that she could not have him held criminally liable for it at all. So yeah, yeah. Wow. That's I'm just still stuck on that. He called the police to have like
Yeah, girl, yes. My daughter, yes. Me and my
I'm
daughter were
like,
just as confused. Like,
because it's
I
like
don't.
here I am, I'm nervous. Like if I was you, I'm sitting there, I would be like nervous because I'm seeing you. I don't want to see you. Like it ain't like I'm even thinking about approaching you.
Yeah,
But then you call the police as if I am. Like that's a lot. That's a whole sign of guilt right there because
yes,
whoever he was with at that moment should have really been questioning everything. Well, why is he so
yeah,
afraid of this woman? Who is this woman? Like that's when my investigation hats would have come on. I would have been trying to find out, like, okay, who is this woman that he felt the need to have security for?
yeah, yeah,
For a little old woman.
yeah, yeah.
Jessica says, why can't he be turned in? So did you want to explain to her again the state you're in? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So the state we're in, not very long after I was diagnosed, the new laws had passed. Um, Unfortunately, because it is not a death sentence, he cannot be turned in and charged. Because as long as we are using good medication adherence, taking our medication, going to our doctor's appointments, taking care of ourselves, eating correctly, and all that, we can't pass it to anybody sexually. So, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why
And
we can't turn him in. Unfortunately, there's myself and several other women that would have loved to have turned him in, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. And that's a lot of laws because if you guys haven't been paying attention, California for sure has reformed their laws to the point now where if someone is undetectable, they don't even have to tell you they're HIV positive at all because they're
Same way here.
undetectable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same way here. Yep.
Yep.
It just
Illinois. Yeah.
passed.
Because so she's in the state of Illinois. So they have a reform law. There are a couple other states that have changed and reformed the laws and how they view things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is why. Look, a couple people was like, "Oh, I had that same question." So hey everyone. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you are tuning in right now, we are sitting here with Tonie Scott. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Tonia. Like I keep wanting to put an A on your name. I don't know
That's
why.
all right.
And so we are discussing. She has been diagnosed now for 7 years, and she just shared with us that she met a guy. This is literally, I think, this is all of our stories. We met a guy. Man, we met a guy. Goodness,
We met a guy, y'all.
who knew meeting a guy? Like we met a guy. Okay,
Met a guy.
and this guy had a secret. He decided that he was going to keep that secret while also sharing that secret. He in turn um, gave her the HIV virus, and she found out after going and getting tested. And yeah, he's just still doing. He's still out here with women. She's actually seen him out amongst the public with various women, and it's pretty sure that he's still doing it. He's still doing it. Let me unlock the door because I locked my door. My kid, my kid is like, let me in. I'm coming. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I locked the door because it was getting late, but but yeah, so that is where we're at, and let me make sure she's. Thank you. All right. Okay. Have a good night. Sorry, y'all. It's Halloween. Kids doing Halloween things. All right. So yeah. And Jessica just said in the comments, but he's not undetectable if he's spreading the virus. Exactly. So that is
Exactly.
very true. So had he been taking his medication, probably going to the doctor, doing what he's supposed to do,
Hmm.
there would have been no way that he would have been able to give anyone the virus. Okay. Which
Exactly.
means if he wasn't doing it then, 7 years ago, what makes us think he's doing it now? I'm pretty sure he's not. Hey Cyrus, hey everybody over there on Twitter, X Land, on YouTube, and here on Facebook. Hello, thank you guys for tuning in. So yeah, so now here we are. Tonie is ready to educate, and you said something that I really love. Like you want to make sure people are educated. I feel like
Yes.
that is the most important thing, and especially with where you're at. You say, it's not a big city, but it's also, a smaller capacity of city. Being able to be someone like you, talking and sharing and educating, this is also going to help the situation as well. Because if someone sees you doing this, you're educating, you're spreading awareness. Wait, didn't she used to date such and such?
Hmm.
Hmm. You know, that also helps it. We can't do nothing by law, but guess what? Education can do a lot, right?
Exactly.
It can
Exactly.
do a lot. This book, I cannot wait for you to have this book because I'm going to be needing a copy
Oh,
of it
you will
for
get one.
sure.
Absolutely. One of the
Um,
first.
yes, I'm gonna need a copy of that because this is yeah. And I always tell people, even when I did my book, I didn't even do, a lot of times when you hear people saying, "Oh, I'm writing a book," a lot of times people are writing it because they're seeing how they can make money off of it and things like that. I'm sitting here
Mhm.
like, do y'all know that writing this book is literally me giving you everything that he not gonna ever give you? He not gonna tell you
Exactly.
half of this stuff I'm putting in this book.
No.
Nobody
No.
else knows this stuff but me and him.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
and that's what it is. It's you doing it on your own terms from you. Nobody's telling your story from you. I always say, write your own story.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it not only touches on not only talks about HIV, but also my journey with abuse, sexual
Right.
trauma, just
Yeah, because that in itself also is another story. Because I don't think
yeah,
people
yeah,
realize too. I don't think a lot of people realize that, like you said, you went through that at a young age and through adulthood to
yeah,
now add on this to it,
yeah,
as well as other medical issues. Like it creates this domino effect of things that you have to deal with that you know can help other people when they hear this, and also it gives you a sense of healing mentally,
yeah,
because you're not bottling it up, you're not holding it in, because sometimes holding this stuff in and the things that we've been through and dealt with, it hurts our bodies, it hurts our minds, and we don't fully live, if that makes
yeah,
sense. We don't fully
yeah,
live. And I think that's why I want people to be able to talk openly about being HIV positive. I know a lot of people
yeah.
aren't going to do it. I know that the stigma is
Mm,
what really causes people to shut down, and that isolation you were talking about and that
yes,
seclusion, it causes that. However, I really just want people to understand too that the therapeutic part of it is you're not keeping it in, you're not bottling it up, and it releases that tension, that stress. And it's helping others. I'm amazed at the story. Like, um, yeah, you have a story. Like, not even to go into the whole domestic thing, the other things that you've been through, but just that part of knowing like you have things that are going to help others. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of keeping secrets. Like it does, it obviously ruins people's lives, keeping secrets. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm
it
hoping that
needs to
he
come
wakes.
to the light. It needs to come up out the darkness and come to the light. It's
Yes,
time.
because I mean, hey, what they say, what you do in darkness is gonna come to the light.
E-
And so now
exactly.
it's time for his light to shine real bright.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I'm finna shine the lights.
Yes. So I know when we were talking before we started this live, you were mentioning, and you did mention a little bit in April, you got baptized. Did that also bring you just this sense of peace? Like, how did that, on top of making a decision to really talk about your status and be open, how did that kind of correlate? Does that just make it even more comfortable for you moving forward?
Yes, absolutely. And I could not do this without getting that done and knowing that I am now clean and I am forgiven. Um, and it took me a long time to forgive myself. And I still have those moments where I get very angry and I
Yeah.
just have to remind myself I'm not dirty and
Right.
the right man will want me. And, I am loved even without a man. Like, I. I am
Yeah.
loved and I am worthy of love. And the church um helped me realize that. And I am so grateful and thankful and blessed for my church family. They are amazing. And I really could not have done this without my family at Nexus Church,
Yeah.
period. Like,
Yeah.
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 And yeah. So I know I'm clean and I'm washed clean and God has forgiven me. So I don't have to live
Absolutely.
in this shame. I don't have to let the HIV or the shame or the guilt or unforgiveness or um any of that have power over me. I don't have to
Right.
let it have power over me anymore. And I'm not gonna let it have power over me no more.
I love that, absolutely. And it's funny that you talk about that, especially like having the support in the church. Because I was actually talking with my youngest daughter. I was like, well, how would you feel if we started going back to church? Because honestly, I'm more spiritual now than religious. Like, I grew up, when I say I grew up in church 7 days a week, no joke. My mom was a church clerk. So of course I'm the girl. I'm with mama all the time. I'm wherever she go, I'm with her. So as an adult, you learn things, you find your own viewpoint of things. And so
Hmm.
that's kind of why now I'm more on that spiritual thing. But I love the community of fellowship. I
Yes.
love that. And that actually
Yes.
is something that I've been looking at, because it's like, yes, I know the Bible. I could probably, give you things from the Bible front, back, with my eyes closed, all that stuff. But just being able to fellowship and being around other people who can relate in a sense of community, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
especially for me having special needs kids, if I'm able to
Yeah.
find a community where other kids also have disabilities, the parents understand what I'm dealing with that,
Yes.
it just, I can't. It just makes perfect sense. So you need to. I'm doing a whole interview and she want me to run and go get the dog.
Right.
Hurry up. She said, "Oh, I got candy on the bed. The dog gonna get the candy." So that means, you know what that means. That means it is like getting close to time for us to wrap up when the kids start
Oh
going
my
around.
goodness. Right.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I didn't really grow up going to church a whole lot. And I had experienced a lot of church hurt. And after being told that I had HIV, I was also told that I was
Wow.
being shunned from the church because God was punishing me basically for having
Yeah.
unprotected sex outside of marriage. So, um, but my cousin um, had asked me to go to church with her one day, and that was on Christmas Eve last year, and I've been going ever since. And
Nice.
they're just so accepting and loving, and they know like
Right.
about all of it. So yeah,
Yeah. So, Lord and Savior Jesus the Christ, my friend need her a pastor. She need her a minister. Send her he knew. look,
yes,
look, the man that's gonna look at her and say, he knew she was the one, okay?
yeah, yeah. Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. It's gonna happen. Look, me personally, I've been single now since 2022. So like going on 3 years, and you know, I mean, yeah, it's getting ready to get a little cold. I might want to cuddle a little bit, but I
Yes.
don't, but I don't let it bother me to the extent,
Yeah,
I don't let it really bother me too much because, like you say, when the right time comes, it'll happen because it'll be the right person,
yeah, yeah,
it won't be
absolutely.
forced or anything like that. It'll be the right moment. And so yeah, yeah. So listen, you guys, there is still love after a diagnosis. Don't let
Yes,
nothing make you think you gotta stay single, you can't be with people, you can't do X, Y, Z. You can do whatever it is you want. You can have a full career, a full life, love, everything. If you're still in childbearing moments, I'm not. My uterus is closed. I will not allow another
mine
child. Listen, I will not allow another
done.
child to exit stage left. No. So you can still have kids. Everything is still possible,
Yes,
even having an HIV
yes,
positive diagnosis. So um
yes,
I think that's what also makes a lot of people who are positive, when they get that diagnosis, is that fear that hits them. Like when I was talking to
yeah,
Destiny last week, she was saying, when the doctor's telling her she's HIV positive, she just thought life was over. She didn't know anything. She didn't
yes,
really know anything about this virus. And so she thought that her life was literally about to be over.
yeah,
And you mentioned how, you had someone who died from AIDS back in the 80s, 90s, so this was not something that was completely that you were completely unaware of. You were aware of it, but like you say, it wasn't something being talked about. And that's
no,
that's why we're talking now. Like we have to keep
exactly.
talking. If people hear us talking about it, they like, wait a minute, this is still a thing. Yes, it is still a thing. So
Yes,
much other stuff now has come to overshadow HIV. Like, just imagine the amount of people that fell out of care during COVID.
yeah,
COVID overshadowed. COVID overshadowed cancer.
it did.
Like it overshadowed so many things, and people fell out of care because they weren't letting people go out of the houses and to doctor offices. So then people were like, well, I just won't go. I just won't
Yeah,
get checked. Things like that. People were on what we were on quarantine. Quarantined in with the wrong one sometimes.
yes,
People were using quarantine as an excuse to just go out here and have crazy sex and different things they were doing. Like, that is crazy. They were like, oh yeah, we could just come quarantine together. And they
mm-mm.
was just doing all kind of things they shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes
Yeah.
I look at HIV as a blessing now, just for that reason, like, because it has blocked me from some. I'm sure like it would have turned out to be some toxic relationship again, you know, with some man. So, um,
Look, it's gonna start with a
yeah,
man. Yeah.
it's
Yep.
yep,
Yeah. So now, if you guys in the comments, if you have questions, now is the time to ask questions. Look, I got all this stuff set up and I don't be using it. Listen, ask questions in the chat. You see, I popped it up, Q&A. Ask questions if you have questions you want to ask, either one of us. So now moving forward, you're working on the book. You're looking at
Yep.
doing awareness. Have you
Yes.
thought about any other things that you want to kind of get into, or plans for your future?
Well, of course, I will be doing the HIV World AIDS Awareness speaking events that we do here every year in December. I spoke at it last year, which was the first time I actually spoke about the HIV. Um, and I will be doing it again this year. Um,
Nice.
and um, Right now, I am actually going back to school. Growing up sick,
Yay.
and in and out the hospitals, like sleeping in more hospital beds than my own. I
Right.
really didn't get a chance to go to school and graduate high school. And and I would like to get into these advocacy programs and stuff and do some training. So I need my high school diploma for all of what I want to do with all
Yeah.
that. And so now I am doing my high school diploma online.
Awesome.
So
Congratulations. Yes.
yes. Yeah, I just really want to like maybe lead some women's support groups um for trauma or HIV. Um and advocate and raise awareness.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm ready to retire. So when I meet all these new up and coming advocates, yes, let's get to work
Yeah.
so I can go sit down on the
Yeah.
beach and go on
Yeah.
vacation. But no, seriously though, it's so exciting because you know, it also is an eye opener because people like people just aren't realizing that every day there's a new diagnosis. Somebody is getting this diagnosis. Somebody is sitting in front of the doctor every single day.
Yeah.
Multiple people, hundreds, thousands of people on a daily basis are being told you're HIV positive.
Yes.
So it's like it needs to continue and to know that you are going to be joining in the awareness. I am so grateful um that God has spoken to you and you know put you in a place of peace that you're even able to do this, because I know it can be hard, like you said, the stigma, how people treat you, they say hurtful and mean things. And yes, we're gonna cry about it. Listen, I've had times where I done
Yeah.
sat there and people cried because I was rejected or somebody said certain things. Um, but yeah, you have to you have to persevere through that. And I see that that is what you're doing. And yes, like Sarah said in the comments, Sarah said, you got this, Tony. You got it.
Thanks, Sarah. I love
Yes.
you. She's
You
part
got
of my
it.
church family. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Look, do I need to move to Illinois to be a part of this church family too?
Yes. Yes. Come on. Nexus Church.
Oh goodness, but that yeah, church like sometimes the your biggest supporters are not even the people that are blood related to you. It really
Yes.
that is absolutely true. I'm finding more
Yeah.
and more over as I've been doing this so many years now. My biggest supporters are my community here online, the ones who support me when I'm posting things. They know the kids more than some of my own family members. My real
Yeah.
family members, and so yeah, it's amazing when you can have that type of support. It makes everything just amazing. It does. It
Yeah.
does. Look, Amy. Oh, there's an Amy says yes. Come to our church.
That's my cousin. She's She is my closest cousin,
Oh,
and
I did
she
her. I
is
did see her say
yes,
cousin in the yes.
yes, that's yep.
Look, all this
She's the
support
one
and
that
love.
got me to yeah, she's the one that got me to the church, so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
So
you,
look,
cuz,
you
love you.
have all this amazing love and support. I'm so excited for you. Like honestly, I am. Like you have no idea. To especially because I know when I first started, my mom was like, "You want to go? You doing what? You telling what? Who is there that I know?" Like she was so worried about who was going to be there that knew her. She didn't even wasn't even caring or thinking about like, oh, how are you gonna be okay? She was worried more so. But as time has gone, it's been um, way better. My mom loves it now. Look, is that your daughter also? Proud of you,
Yeah,
mama.
my oldest daughter, yeah. I have quite a few kids.
Hello, daughter.
My
Um,
kids are my yep, they're part of my big support team too. My kids, and, my best friend.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
Yes. So make sure you add that in the book. Support system means the world. You got
yes.
to put that.
It
You got to make sure when they read that book, they take away that part of your life too. That you
yes,
have this amazing support system for sure.
yeah, 'cause I
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it, without none of them at
Yeah.
all and without God, like, woo, yes.
Hmm. Yes. 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 Cause look, I'm gonna tell you. If I was in the city, if I knew who
Mm.
that man, if I
Yes,
knew who
yes,
that man.
yeah, yes.
Look, the way I'm set up,
Yeah,
sir. Look, me personally,
yeah,
I wouldn't care, but I get it. I know. I
that's,
would have been right there, ma'am. Go
yeah,
get tested.
yes, yeah,
Right there in the eye. Listen, right in the eye doctor.
yeah,
While y'all calling the police, go have the police escort y'all to the clinic.
yes, yes, amen.
That's what I
Yes,
would have been yelling at. Go have the police escort y'all to the clinic. Since he here, I mean, you called them. I assume you called the police for
right,
something. So
yeah,
go ahead. But no,
yes,
yeah. Look,
yeah,
you did it right. And I commend you for that as well, because I know I trust me. I know your mind. Seeing that man, I'm pretty sure emotions were
mm,
everywhere. It was
yes,
so much
ma'am,
that you really wanted to do that you knew, okay, if I do this, this is, you know, yeah. But
yeah,
God spoke to you and said, "No, I got it."
yes, yes,
What's that cliche? Peace be still. Yeah.
yes,
As long as you
yeah,
stay still, and let the peace, it's all working out.
yeah, let the
I
peacemaker
always
take care
tell,
of it.
I always tell people karma is real. You
Yeah,
cannot do something to someone and think that you are not going to get that boomerang effect back to you. You can't. You
yeah,
cannot. So it's coming. You won't have to do anything but continue to do what you're doing, being you, being faithful to the mission and the things that you want to accomplish in life, and that's the most important thing. Absolutely. Look at you, got me over here on my little inspirational kick right this quick minute. Oh yes, thank you, Curly. My friend Curly Forrest says he's been listening. Thank y'all, awesome woman of God. Absolutely. Um, look, Roberta says something I would have said. My mouth has no filter. Listen, my
yeah,
mouth has no filter. It doesn't.
yes, it, yep, it's taking God to keep the filter
Yes,
on
I
my
tell
mouth
people all the
because
time. Because when you
and the
face
anger down and yeah, oh yes.
that first that first time is I don't think people realize when somebody does something that's devastating to you, and you go a long time, you don't have to interact with them, see them, or none of that. And then when you're actually put in their presence, you just never know how you're going to react. I had to do that like 2 years ago. I had to face this man because I had to go to court for child support. And I'm like, I had to go, and I immediately had, when we got in there and I saw him, I had to go straight to the bathroom and talk to myself in the mirror.
Yes.
Listen, girl, you cannot go ahead and you have to compose yourself, because I felt the anger. I felt it all, like
Mm-hmm.
I felt that moment rush back to me. I felt the anger. I felt all of that. And I just had to just get in that mirror and say, listen, you cannot show out in these people court.
Right.
You listen, you are not equipped for jail. All of
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, people don't realize this is that's something that can, and it plays with you mentally.
It
So
does.
for you to get through that moment and to be here and as peaceful and content as you are, that speaks volumes. Yes, yes. Shayla said, "Can we recap?" Okay, we're gonna recap before we get out of here.
Yeah.
So, um, I'll give you I'll give them the recap. So basically, this is Tonie. She has been now diagnosed HIV positive for 7 years. She found out after going and getting tested that the person that she was in a relationship with kept a secret. He had not disclosed his status to her, and after getting tested, she found out. And through those 7 years, she's noticed that he has also still been with different women, pretty much possibly not telling them his status still. She is in the state of Illinois, so she is not able to actually have him held criminally liable. We would love to do that. Right before this happened to her is when the laws changed. So she was not able to pursue anything criminally. However, this awesome, awesome, awesome person is writing a book. She's writing
Mhm.
a book. She's going to be sharing her life with us, as well as bringing awareness to her story. I'm hoping that through her sharing this story in this book, that someone reads it and they realize that this is a situation where they need to go and get tested, because this is possibly the same person that they could be sitting by. Hello, little doggy. She just had to get in my lap. Um, and so I'm hoping through this process that she's able to bring awareness not only to her local community, but on a larger scale to everybody. Everybody needs this awareness. Her story is unique from my story and unique from other stories, and they need to be shared. She also um, is pursuing so many things. Like, she is going to be doing everything she needs to get her education so that she can keep going and doing this advocacy, the education part of it, and making sure that she can properly educate everybody else about this virus. Like, listen, this is very important. That's why I do this. I want you guys to meet everyone. This is her first time really sharing her story on this large scale. She's spoken before for World AIDS Day. You said December of last year.
Yeah.
She spoke, but to this capacity, this is her first time. This is on social media. It's out here. It's stamped.
Yeah.
Okay. It is here. So this is that first step. That's why I said I titled this as time, because Tonie realized, you know what, it is time to get out of the fear. It is time to come out of hiding. It is time to speak up and to bring the awareness to this virus. She witnessed people in the 80s and 90s dealing with AIDS diagnosis and no longer being here with us. So she not only has seen this from her personal experience of 7 years, she's seen this on a previous scale as far as how this virus has done a lot of people in the past. And so I I really, really commend you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I have to tell you
Love you.
that. Because I'm over here. I have goosebumps because um to I don't know. I don't just to see the calmness that comes over you. Like I'm looking at you and you're just so calm and so cute, y'all. She is 50. I don't believe it. I need to see the driver's license. She is 50. Okay.
50, yes.
Yes.
Last
And you
this past August. Yep, 50.
yes. Thank you. Sarah said the dog is adorable. Listen, she is gonna be an adorable in trouble dog. Okay, she's gonna be in trouble. She's getting it. She's doing too much. But yeah, so that is kind of like that quick recap. And Tonie also said this year again for World AIDS Day, she's definitely going to be um, sharing her story again for the community. Anything you want to leave with everyone? Any last words? Any awareness things you want to put out there? Tell them go get tested. The
Yes,
importance of things.
go get tested and educate yourself if aren't able to get education through somebody else. Um, and don't let that have power over you. Don't let shame or trauma, abuse, HIV, none of it. Don't let it have power over you. Uh, And
Yes, absolutely.
like it's taught me HIV actually has taught me like a lot of like self-awareness and self-love. And I'm learning to like pray for and bless the ones who have walked away because I've learned that they are just making room for the ones who won't. Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, and just speak up, speak up.
Yes, yes,
No,
yes.
you are not the only one that is dealing with this. There is so many people out here dealing with this, and it's just been too quiet for too long. It is time to raise up and make some noise, y'all. Like let's make some noise, y'all. Let's stop being
Make
so
some
quiet about it.
noise.
Yes, let's make some noise. Let's stop
Yes.
being so quiet about it. About the
Let's talk about it.
HIV,
Yes.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Come on. And talk about
Yes.
the HIV. We could talk about abuse and trauma too. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, we talk about celebrity gossip. Why we can't talk about HIV? We talk about all these
Exactly.
other things. Politics is a
Exactly.
big topic right now. We talk about that. Why we can't talk about HIV? You
That's
know.
right.
So
That's right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Make sure you guys, if you want to keep up with Tonie, I follow her. You go follow her. Look for her profile picture because there are a couple Tony Scotts. But I do have it right here. How you spell her name?
Yes.
Tonie Scott. Make sure you go and follow her so that you can keep up. So when she's doing her, making different posts and things that you can support her. I would love for you guys, and especially when that book comes out. When it comes out, we are going to talk about it. When I read it, we're gonna have a whole nother interview. So prepare. We're gonna do another interview about this
Yep.
book. Once I read
Yep.
it,
Yep.
yes, we're gonna have a whole little look. What they call it, like a book club
Book
review.
club. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
cannot wait. But
Yeah.
again, I want to thank you so much. All of your
Mm,
listen, your
welcome.
support system is so strong. I might have to adopt a couple of them. Look, let me see.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I might
That's
have to
okay.
adopt a couple of them. Uh,
That's okay. Uh,
oh,
Amy, I
Amy
don't
did
know
want to know.
the statistics of HIV
Yeah,
in just in Illinois. I'm not sure exactly the number. I just know it's in the thousands.
let me check right now. I'm gonna look real quick.
Okay, yeah.
HIV statistics in Illinois, and this is probably going to be an estimate only because
Okay.
so when it comes to statistics, you're never going to find statistics in the current year. So this is 2024.
Yeah.
Most times, statistics can be anywhere from 3 to 4 years off of the current year because of the data that has to be collected, analyzed, all that good stuff. And what now has statistics kind of off is those 2 to 2.5 years of COVID that we dealt with. That threw statistics completely off. So the most recent that I can tell you about the state of Illinois, and this is from the CDC, there are 41,000 people living with HIV in Illinois. For as far as new diagnosis in 2020, there were 1,159 new HIV diagnosis. The number, which was 1,698, which was in 2012. So there has been a slow decrease of new infections. There's about so as far as undiagnosed, there are about 11% of people living with HIV in Illinois who are unaware of their status. So 11% of people haven't went and gotten tested, don't know their status, but they are possibly HIV positive. Oh, she lost. Um, if somebody can type to Amy and tell her to leave and come back if she lost sound. And then progression to AIDS. So progression to AIDS is basically somebody has an HIV diagnosis. They're not taking their medication. They're not going to the doctor, and now they're going into an AIDS diagnosis. It says in 2020 there were 57 cases of progression from HIV to AIDS. That number decreased from where it was 173 in 2011. So from 2011 to 2020, that number has slowly decreased. And then the HIV rate per 100,000 people. So usually when you see certain statistics and it talks about the rate, usually the rate is per 100,000 people. So in 2022, the Illinois HIV rate per 100,000 people was 339. So whatever the population in Illinois, every 100,000 like group, at least 339 of those 100,000 people are HIV, So that's kind of how you look at the state. So that's what we have. And then it also says here, the Illinois Department of Public Health conducts the medical monitoring project to estimate the number of people in care for HIV in Illinois. The MMP selects a sample of HIV positive individuals to interview about their HIV medical care and behavior. So they actually do a lot in Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm looking at, and then they also have a breakdown. If you look, they have some breakdowns where you can look at it by demographics. So you can look at it by males. You can look at it from females. You can look at it whether it's Hispanic, white, black, other ethnicities, things like that. So yeah, and the easiest way to get your specific county. So in Illinois, if you go to the Illinois, I think they have, let me see, the Illinois Department of Public Health, you should be able to go to the HIV surveillance data, and you should be able to see the county breakdown. So whatever county you live in, you can go and look at your specific county and know what the statistics are. And this is really in any state. Go to your state health department's website. Like I'm in Florida, so we have the Florida Department of Health. You could go there and it'll be broken down by counties, demographics, age categories, because you want to look at that too. And also for you, Tonie, that'll help you with knowing your target audience when you're advocating and sharing the awareness. Because say in your area, even though we know the general age with higher diagnosis are our teens and young adults and our 55 and up, in your specific area, it could be a thing of where the middle age, so like that 25 to 45 kind of, that could be a higher rate. So that would say, oh, you know what? I need to talk to these the middle age group a little bit more too. So that also
Yeah.
helps that kind of breakdown, and it helps understand what's going on in the community more, because they're not just going to tell you guys these things. If something happens in the community, you might see it on the news. Oh, someone was arrested for HIV, or this happened, or
Yeah.
oh, there was an issue where someone was stuck by a needle, things like that. But yeah, no. Somebody in the comment, A's from outside air. I feel like that's a troll. Sometimes we have little trolls that pop up. But you
Yeah.
cannot get AIDS anywhere. AIDS is not a virus.
No.
It's not anything that you can get from anyone. It's a syndrome. It is a syndrome. So nobody can give anyone
Exactly.
AIDS, okay? Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. Amy says she's so proud of you, cuzzy.
Thanks, cousin.
But yeah, so if nobody else has any other questions, we're gonna get out of here for the night. I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna pop back on live and make my son's wheelchair costume. So if you guys would love to watch me um create some awesomeness for this little boy, feel free to join me. But again, I appreciate you so so much. Thank you, thank you. And this will not be our last time talking. I'm gonna send you my number. Well, I think I did send it to you. um
Yes.
yeah, and also when you do get a chance, send me your shipping information. I want to send you my books so you can have them
Okay.
just for you.
Yes.
Okay. I
Thank
want. I want.
you.
Yes. Um. Yes. 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 No, Mike Musty. That's why you musty, Mike. See, I was gonna not troll tonight.
Right.
I was gonna be nice. Look, they done had me talk about the Lord, our Savior Jesus the Christ, and I was being nice, and I wasn't gonna. But musty. That's why you musty, musty, because you think that you could give somebody AIDS. You could give somebody musty, Mike, little stinky self. Let me get off of this line.
Right. You need to get some education.
You need to get some
Go edu-
education and some deodorant.
Go get you some education, Musty Mike.
All right. I love you. Have a wonderful evening,
Love
you guys.
you.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Good
Mwah.
night. Mwah.